ready for the show?
Are you kidding me?
Folks, you're in for a real show. And now, broadcasting live across the nation, we proudly present to you...
Oh, wow. Are you kidding me?
This just in, this just in, this just in, this just in.
Oh, wow.
A brand new sound is sweeping the airwaves, and you're hearing it here first.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Come on, folks, let's hear that applause. All right, folks, attention to the stage. The excitement starts now. And now, broadcasting live across the nation, we proudly present to you...
Hey guys, how are you? I'm going to get it figured out sooner or later. Hello everybody, welcome to Shuffle Up and Heal, where, you know, we hang, we talk, we still try and figure out why the extra camera is not coming up. Why would it do it that way? Anybody? I don't know. It's going to figure out. Because somewhere down the road... Oh, look at that. Everybody worked out just fine. I just need to set this up. Anyways, how are you guys? You know, we're all hanging out now. Oh, look at you guys. Oh. I need to remove this. I'm so sorry, Penny. That was a big oops on my part. And I don't know. There we go. We're on Facebook now, too. Oops. I was accidentally broadcasting over to Penny's, which I didn't think I could do anymore, which that's kind of fun. Anyways, it's a good thing I went over here to do this. How are you guys? So I see based on some of the emails, and Ali, I got yours. I'll respond to it shortly hereafter. We'll set up a time. Char, good to see you. Trish, hanging in there. Rachel, Black Bell. I'm a channel jumper. Yeah, totally. Kayara, good to see you. Good to see you. Rita, good to see you too. Lady Ann, Elaine, good to see you. Linda, 3 shifts, here we go. Aaron, we're doing a romper room right now. It's good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. I see you guys just chatting it up. I think it's between you guys. Like, you know, if you get on beforehand and you just, you know, you're talking to, then yeah, Penny was an oversight. I'm sure Penny's going to call me tomorrow and be like, young man, what are you doing on my channel? I'm a world-class organization, and you're over here, you know, shove it up and heal. What kind of bullish crap is that? And then I'll say, well, I'll see you in England. I'm working on it, everybody. I'm working on a whole bunch of stuff left and right. Florida dates are out. If you're in central New York, you can still come and get it. There's plenty to come and get. I only actually have a few tickets left in Oneida and in Johnstown, for that matter, Gloversville, really. And I have a date. Let's talk about dates. First of all, where did Brandon go? Brandon's putting up his table. By the way, this is a fun part about this table. And make sure that I'm all lined up. Get serious about something, Brandon. This is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this right here. But I kind of got to go like this because of the way yeah, you see where I kind of, all right, so what is this? This is out here that I'm kind of like, whatever. So I got to go like that a little bit. And then you got to go like that. Oh my God, get my best side. I'll stand up and moon all of you. Anyways, hope you guys are doing. Yeah, Penny, we love you. We do love you. It's just get off my channel. This is my own thing. Well, Kat, good to see you. So listen, guys, just a couple of things. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to remind you, the Understanding Intuition, you already did that. It's in your inbox, Pages and Cups. Last couple of days to do that. And then, of course, we've got this right here, starting a week from tonight. Yeah, I must have bumped it by accident, but I saw Penny's pretty little face up in the right-hand corner. So get in on this. You can still get the 20% off discount. Jump in, say hello. If you want to join it, but you just need a little bit of space and grace, I got you. Just send me a message. We'll figure it out. Leslie, good to see you. Good to see you guys. What's going on in the world today? I have politely, honestly, not gone into the news cycle the last like 2 days for my own sanity. But I will tell you, I have a feeling I think there's going to be a major passing this week. And I don't think it'll be a criminal thing. I don't think it'll be like, they were protesting and they were whatever. I think the challenge, I think this is going to be somebody that is just beloved, and it'll be subject to wherever they're at. And I think it'll make us all pause. Do you remember when Jimmy Carter before? Like, it's kind of got that feel to it. Like, everybody knows it. Everybody knows the person if you say a word about him. It's just, Sabrina, I hope I'm back on, kid. Yeah, it could be kind of that slash between the two of them. Could be political, could be entertaining, could be music, but it'll be the type of thing that everybody will know them. And, Barry Manilow forever, guys. Because somewhere down the road. I also think that this Greenland thing is going to be the end of some other things. I talked about this in class today, how Jupiter is basically in opposition with this superstellium going on. Everything's, by the way, welcome to the age of Aquarius, everybody, right? As we move into the time of Aquarius. And one of the things that are really, the thing you have to recognize with Aquarius coming in, and again, it's not fully here yet, but we get these things, amped up. Is that the age of Aquarius isn't about getting along. It's about pulling your weight. So if we change the dynamic and start to look at what a drag the weight is, we won't need it on board anymore. And if we allow Trump to just do whatever the freak he wants, by the way, that's what they're doing. They've let him do whatever. But I think he has a really fatal flaw. And we all see it. We're just waiting for it. We're like, TikTok, mother effer, like, let's go. By the way, right at the 10-minute mark. Yeah, I think that all of this, he's a velociraptor. He just tests everything and sees what the bigger score is. And one of the things that, and I found this TikToker, he's actually an historian, and I think he's based in Toronto because he talks a little bit about Canadian history with the United States. So I think that's kind of a spin. And he's a wonderful speaker, like he knows what he's talking about. And he said the parallels with 1935 Germany is strikingly bad. Strikingly bad, right down to everything that Trump is doing. It's just testing the waters. He's waiting for somebody to say no to him. And until we say no to him, and by the way, we did say no to him, he just ignored us. Right? Stop me if you've heard this one before, E. Jean Carroll. No doesn't mean no. No mean no, it's part of the role play. Fucking dick. But to recognize that nobody's standing up to him, nobody in Congress, because we're all compromised with something. Think about the worst day you've ever had. Think about the worst thing you've ever done. Donald Trump finds it out and says, well, you can play ball or not, or the world could know this. Meanwhile, we're showing him with known pedophiles and known people to do mean, nasty, terrible things. Well, what this historian pointed out, and you know what? I think I've shared some of his stuff. I mean, he's good. He's good stuff. And one of the things that he pointed out was just, it stopped me in my tracks, even at this point. And, the parallels that have gone on so far with some of the smaller stories, you're like, okay. This one stopped me in my tracks. So in 1935, he just did whatever it is, Hitler did whatever he wanted to do. And part of whatever it is he wanted to do is he would go and, he's like, yeah, they're not going to stop me to, for this strip of Poland. They're not going to, they're not going to go after me for this part of Europe and Denmark and Finland. And, he just took, he didn't, this little part of France and, oh, we've got something worked out with the Swiss and, who just play both sides. Neutral means you play both sides, by the way. And yes, Professor E's histories, yes. And he pointed out that everything was going according to their plan until England and France declared war. And he turned to his faithful architect, I forget the guy's name. And then he said, oh shit, what are we going to do now? He said, well, we thought there might be a possibility of war. We just need somebody to stand up to him. And why we're not doing it internally, we are doing it internally, but I think we really understand how powerless we are. We don't live in a democracy, guys. Just understand that. We don't. Because our voice would be heard by our representatives and our representatives would echo. But instead, we have a courtroom full of compromised people. How's Elise Stefanik doing, by the way? My favorite of all. Von Schneiser-Pons. Yeah, right? But the checkmate part of it, is that Hitler realized too late that he was in too deep. And he didn't have a plan for war. He just wanted to tell everybody how great his war was. He was getting tweaked out on meth for years. The ketamine is the old meth. And ketamine takes a slower dose to get to the organs, but it's coming, right? And the idea that, you know what though, Linda, go. Don't let this Yahoo get in your way. You know, the thing that we have to realize when we go out there and we study abroad or we go places now, we just have to know that they look at us differently now. Where there was a little righteous indignation to be like, oh, they're the Americans. Now it's the Americans, right? Cat, that's funny. Oh, and I saw somebody ask this earlier. I'm feeling great. I'm doing better and better. I heard I have another checkup or something next week. But yeah, I expect full recovery. I'm choosing some things to eat. And as a recap for some of you, almost biting the bullet because of my gallbladder. That was fun. Yeah, go to the wedding. I'm telling you intuitively, I'm telling you to go to the wedding. Just like intuitively, I knew I would make a full recovery. This is a little bit different though. One of the things that I am learning, like for instance, this morning after Eric had to go to school today because Xander's got Regents this week. If I am tired going into the day, that's not a good look. So I'd rather take another 2 hours and sleep or chill even than get to work on time. I don't know what that is anymore. But I'd rather do that and chill than anything else. And it's just my body catching up, and some of it's kind of, you know, what's going on with the digestive tract and that sort of thing. And you know, but now I don't feel the twingy pain, so I think the anesthesia has kind of moved itself out. I know it still takes months, but the painful part of the anesthesia is out, and then just the system's coming back online. And you know, and I'm trying different foods. You know, had a half a pizza yesterday, didn't go great, wasn't bad though. I still say this: the one thing that I think I can't really do is French fries. I know, and you guys are telling me, you know, put them in the air fryer, don't deep fry them, all that stuff. Thank you for the advice. I got to pay attention to how it is that I do it and kind of go from there. Could it be that? I don't know. Hey, Devin, how are you? Jim Charles, my man. How are you? How are the babies? Melanie, good to see you. I saw somebody else up here, and I meant to say hi to Diane. How are you? My sister with spirit, not in spirit. If I say sister in spirit, they think you're dead. Right? But yeah, I'm feeling better every day. It's just a energy game now at this point. You know, it could be the starch. I actually think it's the oil, to be honest, because it's the only thing that I will eat like that. And there was one other thing that I had that just it doesn't set well. And okay, all right, I'll get the mashed potatoes instead. I'm not dead yet. Bring out your dead. Right. And by the way, for clarification, my heart didn't stop. I just stopped breathing for a minute. What's air? What's a couple of brain cells? Hey, Rosie, I'm going to see your team later on this week. I don't know if you guys heard that or not. My favorite venues ever. Yeah, I'm feeling better. So yeah, and again, I'm not trying to be political. I'm trying to be, you know, I'm trying to calm us down as light workers and tell you guys now is when the shit is going to hit the fan, and we got to be good at who we are. That you want to be Aquarian, be the best you can be. And by the way, don't BS anybody, don't take them for a ride, and don't tell them you can when you can't. Right? Right. My guts weren't happy. Rita. Yeah, being pragmatic. That's a great way to look at it, Trish. Rosie, good. Good. They sent me a message and said that everything was like there were 2 spots left. I love going to colleges. So much fun. Pauline, I was thinking about you earlier today. I think I have to talk. I think I have to talk to the Canadians at large for payment processing because you guys get hosed buying anything in the U.S. I get it. I do get it. Put the lime in the coconut. The coconut. She's one of my favorite actresses. I think if I had to rank them, I would put her towards the bottom of my top 5, but Sandra Bullock's on there. And it's not her looks. I mean, this is the thing. You get to a certain point in life and you're like, I can look at that. And listen, when she comes strolling out in Miss Congeniality, I mean, let's be honest. My viewership is 90%, and half of you were like, yeah, I'd give her a throw. Like you just did. You looked at her and you're like, well, if I'm ever going to do it, it better look like that. I get it. I understand. Right? But she also, her life, her career, her dating life, finding out that she had a sister at her mother's funeral, you know, like her backstory is pretty intense, and she's amazing. And how about this? In Practical Magic, who was her co-star? Miss Tom Cruise there. By the way, cute as a button, but not attractive to me. Because she's not a Nicole Kidman. Thank you. Could be. Yeah, Nicole Kidman. I'm just not a fan. By the way, that my recall on 80s facts and fun facts and early 90s stuff, that's the stuff that's been lacking. I got to get sharp again. Right? We were just making toast. Yeah. You know, one of the things that I'm recognizing too is how much we're no longer talking about vengeance. And I know that ICE officers feel threatened now, and why wouldn't they? They're not really officers, you know. And here's my kinship to this. Somebody like, just because you dress it up right, and you got the dress and you got the attitude and you got the swagger and you've got the cuteness and the whatever, doesn't mean you're good. Doesn't mean you're for good. So just because you put it in Kevlar and put a badge on it and let them take their own gun to work, yeah. We should do Friday Night Pop. Let's get Brandon back. I think it's also, I think it's going to take the ICE officers quitting to not have ICE be an issue. And they talked about detaining 10,000 people in the Twin Cities, in the greater Twin Cities. And there's sprawl, but it's not the biggest sprawl I've ever seen. Right? But it's fairly condensed. And I know that there's a lot of Somalians. I'm having a really hard time thinking that 10,000 people were illegally in the Twin Cities. You told me 1,000? Okay, 2,000? All right. 3,000, I start to kind of raise my eyebrow. I mean, illegals, true illegals, people that are doing illegal things that are illegally illegal and illegal. By the way, you know why Donald Trump allows this? Because he doesn't know history. You know, the Stephen Millers of the world convinced him, if we go after nobody likes immigrants. Let's just go after that one, right? I think ICE is going to go down the same way the SS went down, to be honest. I was just following orders. No, you weren't. You know, doing the conscientious objections is the only way to kind of go through that. So here's what I've done. since I've come out of my haze and phase. I was speaking to a lawyer because of the medical stuff, and I still don't know where I'm going to go with that, but I think, yeah. And by the way, I won't be updating people until it's done, but just know that I've had a lot of conversations. Yeah, like Trish, 10 out of 10 for that comment. If I was illegal, why would you go to Minnesota? By the way, do you know where the most amount of immigrants are in the United States? Illegal or otherwise? 2 states are far and away number 1 and number 2. Texas and Florida, everybody. And guess what? Texas and Florida, they're not getting raided. They're not having people coming through, although they did have some ICE move through, right? Arizona's 3, Trish. And you know, it's all politics. You know, we're sitting here being right. We're on the right side of history. We're being right about calling it out. We're being right that it's all sorts of whatever. It's funny. That's exactly where I'm going with this. Yeah, but notice, K. Eric, the thing that they went after was Disney. They weren't going after Florida citizens. They were going after Disney. It was retribution, right? And what they're doing is they're saying, okay, democratically voted area, Democratic leaning, right? And listen, I'll be in Florida. Shit will go down at the beginning of March, everybody. I guarantee it. It'll happen either right before or right after. I have a way. You know, and then you have DeSantis basically saying we're backing the president. We're going to give his due diligence hand job or whatever it is he does. Yeah, because exactly, Rachel, they fought against all the things that they're doing right now. They're just like, we don't believe in any of that. And by the way, their stance was really in an LGBTQ position. They were just like, no. And oh, by the way, most of the people here are immigrants. You know, you go in, I mean, one of the best things about Disney, and listen, there's pros and cons, we could have a debate, but one of my favorite things is when I'm talking to Shishao, who came here on an H1B1 visa, H1B1 visa, and is working for 2 summers at the castle at Disney World. And how long have you been in the country? What do you find interesting? Where are you from? And you have these conversations with people. And it's amazing. It's amazing. Disney has done more to help us melt any of the ignorance that we have about other countries. You know, I mean, I remember growing up, and I'm going to save this, but the U.S. victory over the USSR, which is now 45 years old, 46 years old. I mean, I remember it like it was yesterday, and I was 6 years old. I mean, I remember it. I remember sitting there. I remember ripping the pillow apart, punching the couch when they scored. Like I was into it. I was sold. And oh, look at you guys. Great minds, great minds. You both hit send at the same time. And I think we no longer have, one of the things that made that moment so amazing was that we had an enemy. Perceived enemy, but we still had an enemy. Oh yeah. Jinx, buy me a Coke. And I think what we're truly kind of running into now is that we don't know who the bad guy is because the bad guy is coming from within the house. And listen, if I'm grateful that people that tune into this aren't Trumpers, I guess. And when I say Trumpers, I don't mean, I mean people that are sycophantically protecting him. And I have turned my rhetoric into very clear. Hi, Adrian, how are you? That my rhetoric when I'm on, a Facebook post and somebody's, talking about, oh, really, if they were really, protecting the Epstein list, then they would have done this, this, and this. I'm going to say this as clear as I can. They are actively protecting people that should be prosecuted for crimes against children. That's what they're actively doing right now. There's no place for that. We used to have a system that would take care of that and flush them and say goodbye. Right? Ugh. Elaine, of course they are, because they don't know what else to do. They're trying to serve a master that they can't, that's unpredictable. Right? And look, I just call it like it is. And there was a woman that was going at great lengths to twist what was going on. And, maybe it was about the ICE officer that unloaded 3 rounds when he was standing on the edge of a car that he should have been nowhere near, unloaded bullets into her chest and said, fucking bitch, because he was threatened. Come on. There is in no based reality that she was gunning for him, because if she was gunning for them, she'd have taken out 3. She wouldn't have taken out 1. She would have taken out more than 1. Let's be brutally honest. You want to go down that route? If her goal was to take out ICE officers, she'd have gotten 3 out of 4 tires covered. Just being honest. And on top of that, when you're defending stuff like that, and I say, and they're like, Donald Trump really cares about the country and he's trying to clean it up. My direct question is, why are you protecting him? That's all. Well, this, that, and the other thing is happening, and here you go. And then all I say is, can you provide some level of proof that any of that is true? I'll wait. I have about a dozen of those sitting out there. And it goes one of 2 ways. Either it falls on deaf ears, and when I check back on it, I'm like, still waiting. Or it turns into a full-on, you're a libtard. Well, what about Biden? What about, they just reach. What about Ho Chi Minh? Ho Chi Minh, now that was the guy. You didn't get him. Like, just start calling it out for what it is. You don't have to take up the grand fight. Just ask them one logical question and their arguments automatically fall apart. I had a conversation with somebody who was very much 100% Trump in the first term. And I respected them because they wanted to debate the topics. He even said, he's like, I don't want to debate Donald Trump. He's a useful idiot or whatever. He diminished him. But I'll bring him in, Rita. And the reason why I respected him was because he would go down this path of like, well, you have to address, there is no way that you can. Remember when Marco Rubio took away all the school lunches? Because that's the kind of cool class act that he is, where he's like, I can have mine, but you can't have yours. And listen, I think that the Senate should have a $3,600 a week budget for their meals and dinners. I do. They're in charge. They got shit to do. They should be wheeling and dealing. They should be able to entertain, heads of state. They should be able to sit around or whatever. It's a perk of the job. I don't have a problem with it. It's literally a pimple on the ass in the budget. But when you tell me that the 42 cents a day needed per school, or per student rather, is too much because who's going to pay for it? I'm looking at your lunch money, bitch. That's calling it spade to spade. And if you're going to tell me that you have to have yours, but nobody else can have it, you're not a leader. I've owned a business now for the better part of 16 years, and I'm here to tell you, everybody gets paid before me. Everybody. Everybody, everybody, everybody. It's just, it's the cost of, it is one of the emotional tolls. Now, that being said, when you buy a new car or a forever used car like I do, and somebody says, well, look at you, you must be moving up in the world. Yep, worked my ass off, took care of everybody on the way. Anything else? So it's one of those things like did you earn the arrogance you want to bestow? And again, I don't have a problem with hard work and fastidious application of finances. But don't tell me that you can't take care of what is your product, government? To protect the people, to provide for the people, to be utilitarian in your choices and your decision making. None of those things are going on. Not one. By the way, in this whole thing about Denmark, don't you think Puerto Rico is the one that's looking around going, you're going to make them the 51st state? What are you going to do? Come down here and throw us toilet paper? No. I went a little Speedy Gonzalez there, so sorry. In the amount of mess, I heard an economist talk about what the tariffs have actually done to the commodity market. It's going to catch up to Wall Street. And by the way, we don't have to have any country declare war on us. We don't need an allied forces. We don't need, you know what? The only thing that needs to happen is one of 4 countries to call margin on us. Do you know what margin call is? It's when they settle debts by the end of the day. If China was to come in and say, "Oh, you want to go in and mess with people?" Margin call. Did you know that 82% of all U.S. mortgages are held by a Chinese holding company? By the way, one of them, one of the front companies is called Bank of America. By the way, the more you know, the more you go, this isn't going to go well for anybody. Please get cash out of the bank, everybody. Every week, just stuff a little in your mattress. Because all it takes is them going, bloop, bloop. We're just going to take this. You're like, what happened to my 401? Nothing. Oh, it's a national emergency. We need to take all your money in order to pay for our troops, our ICE officers. It is the cataclysmic level of economic failure because he's too stupid to understand it. So he has people that want to manipulate it that have hedged against it. You want to know how I'm gonna look this up because I don't want to get this one wrong. I think one of the hallmarks of a country that's about to fall apart is the idea that we can gamble on everything now. So Kalshi, if you're not familiar with, is it gets around gambling because you can bet on anything. And what you're doing is you're betting against the other 5 people that are in it. So what's illegal is when you have an entity that takes the lion's share, where you're betting against the house, right? And the way that like sportsbook betting goes is, they'll take Detroit over Chicago, and they might lose that one, but they're going to win the Giants against the Eagles. I'm sorry, the Eagles against the Giants. The Eagles will win. They'll win in the 5 other places, but they'll lose in that one, and then people will think that they're ahead, so they'll keep gambling and betting, right? I just want to read this. So the reason why they get away with it is that I'm betting against Trish. Trish says the Lions are going to win, and I say the Bears are going to win. And guess what? That's a legal bet, because no, I'm not betting against the house. They found a loophole, everybody. And you're like, but how do they make money? They take a cut of it. And she and I aren't going to say anything because, we got her 2 shekels up each, right? And then when it comes in, I get 3 shekels, and she lost her 2 shekels anyways. But I don't think I lost anything because there's 1 shekel missing, but it went to Kalshi, right? Before the Maduro invasion, let's just call it what it is, the kidnapping, the lines opened up 24 hours before the invasion. It's known as a poly market. So what it does is it bets against one another, which, by the way, these are the things I want to tackle with the podcast, right? There's real, the imagined risk is you lose your money. The inferred risk is that you're betting against cataclysm. The real danger is how much you can manipulate it. Let me just read this passage. The user who created an account in December placed a wager on only 4 events, each related to the Venezuela operation, between December 27th and January 3rd. They bet more than $32,000 that the Venezuelan president would be out by January 31st, resulting in the payout of $400,000. Insider trading? By the way, you're completely anonymous on it, including payouts, because it's tax-free. It's none of the government's business. Prediction market profiteering by government insiders must be prohibited, period, says the New York senator. Who is this? Richie Torres. Okay, guy, I've heard some good things about him. But what I don't understand is, how do we get here? Oh, it's 100% the cabinet members. Are you freaking kidding me? They're watching Trump get his. And by the way, Trump's going to turn a blind eye. He's going to be like, yeah, if you guys can get it, so be it. Yeah, I'm shuffling tonight. I'm talking. No. Yeah, I've skipped some of the mainstream media stuff too, but I will tell you, I'm going to keep going back to this. Everything about Venezuela is about voting machines. Hey, Cindy. I'm just telling you. Smartomatic is a Venezuelan company. And by the way, there's private ownership, and then there is media ownership, and then there is government control of things like voting machines. I am telling you, this is going to come down to Maduro saying, I promise I won't say anything about the voting machines. And it'll be one tagline. It'll be a thing of, we will not talk about any businesses that have had any lawsuits with the United States. And you'd be like, that's a freaking weird thing. And again, Adrian, you call it like it is. Jesus didn't say anything about immigrants. Hell, Jesus didn't even say anything about gay people. Jesus ran with 12 other dudes. I might be going to hell for this one, but I'm pretty sure he touched a dick. Just saying. Mary Magdalene? Whatever. I think we have to start to recognize that the bullshit is running out. And this is a thing that I struggle with in my own faith. Are you ready? If God was infallible, if the entire Jesus arc was true, how could any of this be manipulated as badly as it's been? Like, truth is truth. The Bible's been manipulated and rewritten no less than 4 times. Some of them have been major, some of them have been minor. King James Version is wholesale dish rag material for me. The King James Version has more bastardizations of the original Bible than if you were to read Cosmopolitan and call it the Book of Cosmo. And it's not even just being the opiate of man. It is being, Jupiter in opposition with all of the other Uranus or all of the other Aquarian placements right now is saying the truth stands on its own. The collective demands it. How about some cards? Why don't we talk about some outcomes? Why don't we do a card spread for the White House in general? Not a particular person. By the way, I hope all my friends that tell me I'm a Democratic dummy, I'm a libtard, I'm a whatever. This reading's for you, you shitheads. All right, here we go. You ready? Page of Swords. Can you say immature? Immaturity? I'm going to go too deep on this one. Then you got the Nine of Wands. Well, what does that mean? Does that mean that we're the wounded warrior? No, it means that we're being conflicting, right? Where are we going with this? So we got the Eight of Pentacles, also known as the Carpenter's card. That's an interesting pull for me right there. That is an interesting pull for me. No, I'm good. And then we have this quick and sudden energy. So here's what I think. Inexperienced, butthurt. He's butthurt. The current president of the United States is butthurt. Period. End of conversation. Oh, and by the way, didn't I have this? Oh, maybe I should do this. Oh, yeah. How about that? That's a little better. So he turns to Christian nationalism, the Carpenter card. By the way, the first card of Capricorn, also known as Christmas time is here. And then this fast and furious, just no control. Let's just get in. Let's do this. Right? Let me just go here. The Star card. Happy Aquarius, everybody. And by the way, I'm gonna keep mixing this one. I had to do a card count on this one, so I want to make sure I keep them shuffled. And what about our butthurt? Because his daddy didn't love him. Aww. Because he loved Fred more. Disappointment and conquering the minds of many. The Three of Swords is not a heartbroken thing. But wait, there's more. It's all about the women. Empress energy. Let me explain. The whistleblower will be a woman. Hey, Carol, how are you? 1 degree of Aquarius rising. Well, everything's tap dancing on your rising right now. So the Empress card comes out and kind of says, like, we're in charge now. And by the way, I am pro-equality. I'm not pro-feminine. I am pro-equality. You give me a qualified woman, I'll hand her the keys. In every area of my life, there's a woman in charge of it. I'm not threatened by it at all. They do a great job, or they wouldn't be doing it. True story. I think I'm going to double barrel this. Let's just say this is the status of it. And then we'll do another one. Yeah, no kidding. Your lucky shirt. I don't know. I'm digging this one. I think we have to recognize, oh, I know what this means. He's been lucky. He's got away with it. I would love to see Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney, Pete Buttigieg, AOC, even Crockett. Gavin Newsom looks like a used car salesman to me. But I'd love to see that ragtag bunch of self-righteous people that have stood up to him. Yeah, there you go. Mark Kelly? Oh, absolutely. I'm going to move this up. And I'm going to leave it here for reference. How about this? How about if we read the Trump White House in 6 months? How about that? The Trump White House in 6 months. Here we go. Will there be a Trump White House in 6 months? Disharmony. Huh. A strong offer. I know where this is going. I know exactly where this is going. But I don't want to share. You're in my White House. Right? Where they're going to be like, oh, there you go. Oh. Have I told you lately that I love my work? Have I told you lately that I love my work? Maybe this is just zeroed in on Trump because this is disharmony. This is an offer. This is him hanging on to his nutsack. And this is him going in exile. I'm sorry. I vaguely remember saying he was going to leave the country. And I know that I've gotten shit because he hasn't left yet. But I think the plan was in place way back there. Take a look down yonder. The tower in reverse. By the way, the tower is not a good card. Please hold. I have a text from Penny. Oh, she's a little. Sorry, Penny. So the Tower card just means that it's the long distressed thing. So this offer to keep his whatever is them saying, you don't get to keep all the toys. You don't get to keep the plane from Qatar. Right? You don't get to do any of that stuff. By the way, Four of Pentacles is showing up here, which is him basically saying, mine, 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 mine. Oh, you know what else lines up with Four of Pentacles? The third decan of Taurus. What's in the third decan of Taurus? The Algol Star, everybody. I'm just saying. The Lover's card in reverse. Will Melania be the one to turn him in? Yeah, that's what I mean. Listen, he could argue about any of those things. I want my name on the Kennedy Center, the Trump Kennedy Center. Can't make this shit up. Ending with the Two of Cups in reverse. So yeah, there's something up here, guys. There's a lot of repeated themes going across the world. What's the outcome here? There's two cards here. They're stuck together. Don't mind me. You know what I think this represents? There's two cards stuck together. I mean, I enjoy tarot, but I don't enjoy it that much. I can't believe I'm spending valuable time trying to pull this apart. I can't believe they're stuck. Look for the 333 with that. And know that we're going to answer it with the 444. Listen, I've been using these cards for a couple of months now. I got them pretty shuffled. Those two found each other again. Huh. Well, you know, I'm going to turn that into a soundbite. So Donald Trump, division, the tower, the long burn, the strong offer, but you're going to be a baby because you always are. You're going to want to hang on to it. You're not going to have a choice. The Lover's card is a choice. The Lover's card is choice. You won't have a choice. Then he will be put into exile. And no one's coming to save him. He's not going to have anybody in his corner. What about the U.S., everybody? Let's talk about the U.S. I'm sorry I'm not doing personal individuals, but I got to go where they tell me. Whoever's got the thing on Thursday, you're going to be okay. I don't know if it's a follow-up or you're getting results or whatever. Thursday, you're good. And At a minimum, you got the plan. I must have done something right because Penny's texting me at 2 a.m. her time. Let's mix these up. And let's mix these up. Just want transparency. All right, here we go. 4 across. The outcome of the U.S. How are we going to be looked at in the world? How are we going to be as a country? Why don't we go here? Up. Yep. We pissed off some people. We have definitely taken it on the chin here. Shoot. Yeah, so Kat, I think you're good, kid. Hey, Tina, how are you? We got to get caught up. Oh, Jesus. I think I lost the script here. 333 is half evil. All right, so listen, this is telling us we got to we're going to turn things apart here. Oh, maybe we're the Antichrist. You're like, Brandon. I got to tell him like I read it. What this is also saying is that we're going to get back to some practical things of commitment. Yeah. Penny lover. So what would this mean? All right, I haven't looked at the cards. And by the way, you guys can see that I'm here, so I'm not altering anything. I'm going to predict something. I think this is going to be the tale of two cities. Remember when I talked about the duality that we're facing with Aquarius? You have 2 matching cards here. This is either going to be a 5, could be a 10. But I think it's going to show us at our outcome that when we don't have a choice, we end up losing out. And with the Lovers card, we have the choice. And guess what? 5 of Cups, everybody. By the way, this is 11-11. You have 5 plus 15, which is 6. There's your 11. 6 plus 5 is 11. I love my work. What this is telling us is that we're going to have tough choices here in the country. These tough choices, well, here's what's going to help us. We're in reverse here, Brandon. Don't play with the cards now. We have lost the practical points of empathy. We're in a divided country of us versus them. That's ugly. Ha! Then we have the Queen of Spades, which is the Queen of Swords, which is basically telling us we don't have empathy anymore. By the way, a sword, 2 queens. It's a 1 value. That's an 11. You guys see me chopping up here? Judgment 2.0. We need to change it. In the deck that I'm working on, it is discernment. Right? Oh, and by the way, could this be us turning our back on all the nonsense that he did? Maybe. Mourning all the shit that he took out, the happiness that we've had. By the way, 3 of Cups is a celebration card. We're mourning the fact that we don't celebrate anymore. And here we go. You gotta fight for your right. to run a revolution. Where are we at, kids? That's where we're at. Change. It's our change to decide to reinvent ourselves. And we're going to have to let go of the shit in the past. We're going to need a shit ton of mutable energy to make these changes, guys. Tons and tons of it. Tons of it. This is where our country is going? I don't know. Whew. I'm just going to validate everybody. 0440, the gut feeling, intuition, betrayal, pessimism, relating value, insight, interest, increased perception, love. It's also an 8. Are we reaping what we sow? Oh yeah, Tina, it's what I do. It's a lot of fun. This dropped. I picked up one of the other cards. The Hangman fell out. Maybe it was trying to tell us when Uranus moves into position, that's where it's going to drop. Right? How about we just stay on topical stuff? Why don't we talk about what's going to happen there in the old Denmark? I mean, Greenland, but against the sovereign nation of Denmark, who, by the way, has never done anything except fucking help us. Excuse my French. My French is a little off. Let's do a casino split here. We'll do a casino split here. And then we'll do one here, too. I like to show my work. That's what makes it so fun and amazing. All right, what's on tap for Greenland? Oh! Tourism just went down. So this is about not having a choice. Oh, one person you don't want to, one group of people you don't want to piss off is the Inuits. You know why? Because right now it is currently 20 degrees outside and I cannot complain enough. The Inuits live in 20-degree weather for 4 months a year. I'm doing it for 4 days and I'm on the verge. Right? They got strength. Oh, and they can also kill whales with their bare hand. There's that, I forgot. They know that they got to get ahead of this. Queen of Wands shows up. By the way, what I'm not a fan of right here is the sunflower protecting the toxic nature of things. Hope that doesn't mean things go a little nuclear. Change of fate. This is interesting. They work with the darkness. Sun's in reverse. This is completely unwarranted. Everything that Trump is doing with them is completely unwarranted. Completely unwarranted. That's why the sun would go upside down. King of Cups. The King of Denmark, maybe? I don't know. You got the Queen here, so you got royalties. Oh, practically perfect in every way. I have a feeling we might be answering to them. All right, Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And the Three of Pentacles. All right. I think what this means is that they are taking control of this and they are working behind the scenes to make sure that none of this goes bad. Right? The Inuit are the most resilient tribe in the world. I think they're going to be okay. Let's give you a number. I'm going to go right from the top on this one. 1515, the big break. Innovation, focus, creation, progress, forward movement, skills and goals, an opportunity, help, extra cash. This may be a boondoggle for Denmark and Greenland. I mean, declaring war on a country that literally only inhabits less than, what is it, 8% of the entire landmass? And now they're making guns? They will absolutely F people up. I saw you. We'll go to Canada next. U.S.-Canada relations. We'll do a split. We'll do a splitsy splits. Oh, yeah, I'm feeling good about this one. Oh, Canada. We need our maple syrup. We also like that you're up there and you're our hat. Here we go. Well, you're doing it the right way. It's also a 5 change. They're also probably leading the way to say, screw you. You guys need some help. By the way, has anybody else caught the campaign to recruit United States citizens to move there? One of the biggest things that has happened is there was a professor who was an expert in fascism that moved to Toronto and now teaches in Toronto. Can't we all just get along? This is rocky waters, but it's still a partnership. They're cutting us off. Thank you again, George Harrison. Because you're just so nice to us, eh? So I think this Ace of Cups in reverse actually talks pretty heady. I got to work on my camera angles. I'm over here. I think it actually talks about they're going to shut the spigot off. Just be like, you know what? No, we ain't going to do that. They've got the higher ground, literally and figuratively. King of Spades comes out here. They're going to be the grown-ups in the room. They're going to be the grown-ups in the room. And I cannot remember your current prime minister. I know it's Trudeau forever. And as soon as they switched, it's whatever. But he's a hard-ass, man. He's not going to take jack shit from anybody. By the way, Knight of Pentacles, which means that there will be no negotiation. Carney, thank you. Yeah, Mark Carney's going to basically go, you see this? You see my shovel? I'm the director here. I'm going to shove this up your freaking diapered ass. Break it off at the handle. And then Canada becomes the world leader for peace. No longer will we be talking about how the United States would go in and help countries stabilize. When the more that you hear it, if you don't follow John Kirakow's work, he was the whistleblower for the waterboarding at Guantanamo Bay. He said, that's not okay. You can't do that. Sure, you can make them sit in the room and you can sleep deprive them and you can give them, rations and you can do those things. There's certain things you can do, but you can't waterboard them. That's torture. And he said, we shouldn't be doing this. This is sanctioned. We don't know. And he ended up going to jail. Under Obama, by the way. Obama is the one that went after him. Because he didn't like that he was exposing those things. So everybody's got dirt on their hands, guys. Everybody. Everybody. But Canada, the Canadian way of life might just be the way to do it. Hope you found solace in that. And we pick this card out of the middle of the deck. Unique skills, eh? Life goals, mission, sense of self, honesty, important projects, time of intense development. You already had what it took to succeed, and this practice will make you a master. It also serves to find your true life purpose. Leveling up. Leveling up. 2 5s. Listen, you know, the idea that our hockey team beat their hockey team when I was 6 years old was everything. The idea that our president thinks that they can just swing a cat and say or do whatever it is that he wants to as a distraction for never being held accountable. By the way, E. Jean Carroll is still waiting for her money. And you know why so many, I think we need some real reform on things like this. And when I say this, I know that it's not popular. And I know that but you don't understand. And I get that. And I'll accept the lumps on this. But when I say it, I hope you understand it. I think we need to get to a point where when somebody accuses another person of doing something dastardly to them, whatever that is, domestically, sexual, physical, whatever, and I don't care if it's a car collision or somebody that was in a place of trust and betrayed that trust. I think we need to get to a point where we flatline how much a person gets paid. And again, I'm not trying to minimize a crime here. But I think the reason why I think the people that abuse it and abuse the system of abuse are the ones that are trying to get rich quick, settle out of court, where the vast majority of all lawsuits are never see the inside of a courtroom, right? And we truly have this dynamic now where, you know, the thing of it all was that the economists were worried because created wealth isn't happening anymore. Created lifestyles are happening, right? But it's either inherited, but it's not being created. It's being inherited, or you're suing people for it, right? Oh, Jenny, I'm sorry to hear that. Six seems to be a number tonight. But to finish my story from earlier, one of the things that I talked to the lawyer about is what can I do to make sure that my kids aren't drafted? And he said, well, there's legal things, but you'll get harassed. There's non-legal things, but they'll look for you. And then there are things that you can say and do to make them immune. And I will protect my kids at all costs, and you guys will not even know what happened. And then I'll pop up and I'll say, here's my new YouTube channel on the shores of Hudson Bay. Or I'll say, you know, so happy to hear from you as I'm sitting on the beaches of Tahini. They have been talking about the draft for a while, and they telegraph every goddamn move they've ever done. They are not intelligent people. And by the way, Shuffle Up and Heal Shipbuilding. Here we go. Elvis Costello covered this. The original artist is escaping me in this moment. Please hold, I'll look for it. I want to give him full credit. Robert Wyatt. I just want to read this to you. Shipbuilding. Is it worth it? A new winter coat and shoes for the wife, and a bicycle on the boy's birthday. It's just a rumor that they spread around town by the women and children. Soon we'll be shipbuilding. Well, I ask you, the boy said, Dad, they're going to take me to task, but I'll be back by Christmas. It's just a rumor that was spread around town. Somebody said that someone got filled in for saying that people get killed in the result of this shipbuilding. With all the will in the world, diving for dear life, when we could be diving for pearls. It's just a rumor that was spread around town, a telegram or a picture postcard. Within weeks, they'll be reopening the shipyards and notifying the next of kin. Once again, it's all we're skilled in. We will be shipbuilding. With all the will in the world, diving for dear life when we could be diving for pearls. It's all we're skilled in. We will be shipbuilding. With all the will in the world, diving for dear life when we could have been diving for pearls. Diving for pearls. Diving for pearls. It was a song that came out in the late 60s, and it 100% talked about an unrequited draft. You know, the thing that Donald Trump avoided. And the metaphor of the shipbuilding was that they only wanted you to be skilled so you could build implements of war. Instead of diving out of the way for your life, you could have been diving for pearls. You could have been going for the best things in life, but instead you have been dealt the life of needing to be in survival mode. You know, they never really told the truth about what happens when they draft you, which is why they're just rumors around town. I hope you guys understand why poetry is so important to me. It's a way to say fuck you to the establishment because they ain't bright. By the way, if you read 5115 cover to cover, I had plenty of middle fingers in there. Oh, yes. John Denver's The Box. Maybe I'll do that one next. Maybe I should bring up poetry every time I do a live. This is what I do. I don't doom scroll. I try not to. I do from time to time. It's so funny, Sabrina. You bring up Alice's restaurant, which, by the way, I can't wait to show you guys the footage of me at the church. Robbing the youth of their youth. That's what that poem's about. 100%, Cindy. Spot on. I took these kids on in my life path, and I will protect them at all cost. I protected them from the system once. Don't think I won't do it again, and you will not find me until they are safe. I've outsmarted every piece along the way. we should be diving for pearls instead. Come on, guys. Don't you get it? The thing that we really have to radically change and show differently is that we're unwilling to be participants in warmongering. The great people of Greenland haven't done a goddamn thing to any one of us. None of us. But they have cobalt. They have natural gases. We didn't need Venezuela for their oil. As a matter of fact, we don't need anybody for our oil. The number one oil producer in the world is the United States, and it is a long shot. A long shot. Am I seeing eye dog? Am I 8x10 glossy photos? Yeah. We are being run by someone that doesn't share our common values. Welcome to the age of Aquarius. This is our first test. We will protest in the street. We will protest in our words, and we will absolutely protest by our resolve. We will not go quietly into any good night. Quite frankly, we will turn and face it. Because every bully falls as soon as you stand up to them, whether your last name is Hitler or Trump. Here it comes, mother effer. You will rage against the dying of the light. Listen, when the pandemic started, I made a post, and I still love it every year when it comes up. I'm somewhere in between a Rage Against the Machine song and Quiet Compliance. Guys, we're it. And I know you're like, I'm not strong enough to fight. Yeah, you are. Because as soon as I said that about our kids getting pulled into something where they'll lose everything they are. I have a neighbor who's a Vietnam veteran. He's Purple Heart recipient. He gets into the parades. He gets to throw out the first pitch at Yankee Stadium. He's lauded. And he's a fucking asshole. Because my kids are a different color, and he was trained to hate them. It's to sit and say things in the backyard like, keep that little blankety blank off of my grass. If it's not nailed down, they don't get to steal it. Sorry, what? Your backyard looks like crap. If they can't clean up and do yard work, what good are they going to be? I don't think he was born that way. I think he was conditioned. But he's a jackass nonetheless. War changes people. Takes away their free will. And listen, I know some people thrive when they have the structure of military. I get it. But even when you think they've been thriving, they have to deprogram. I've worked with too many veterans that have said to me, if I don't change this, I need to leave every 22 seconds, everybody. Great, you got through the war. You didn't get hit by a bullet. Now you're left with survivor's guilt and knowing what you did for however long your enlistment was. Why? So we don't get your files, Mr. Trump? Because you're trying to cover up the fact that your tech bros got into the voting machines and changed all of the algorithms to just slant towards you. And guess what? They over fucking did it. Because I don't see it. I just don't see. If we had a surprise vote tomorrow, a surprise vote, tomorrow's election day, Donald Trump or anybody else people will overwhelmingly pick anyone else. Now, is that because things have flipped or whatever? Those are for the pundits. Those are for the pollsters. But I'll tell you, on the snapshot of November 2024, he didn't win that day. I know he didn't. They told me he didn't. It's not for me to find out, it's for me to witness. So here it comes. Here it comes. We just got to learn how to stand up to the bully. And by the way, you bunch of snowflake libertards, we are all seasoned bully breakers. How is this any different than what our journey has brought us to anyways? Yeah, you're right, Trish. I ruined a lot of pranks in school. Not me, I pulled them off. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. 90 minutes. That's my target on these. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll have a couple of things broken up and put out there. But love the journey. Sign up. Go to tbrandonruss.com. Sign up for the intuitive development class. I'm going to have a packet out before the end of the week. You're going to need a couple of things going into it. You know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to send an email to my Canadian brethrens that are all in that, because there's quite a few of you now. I'm talking to Heather and Pauline, and there's a couple more, Sabrina, of course. But we got to get to the bottom of that to make sure you guys have access to this. So, absolutely. All right, guys. Heart taps. Keep going. I'll see you soon.